Hello, everyone. Welcome to the opening night of the NACL College Halo opening night. Today we have a great game for you guys. It's going to be West Virginia University versus Utah State. To kick things off, the broadcast is brought to you by College Esports Now. College Esports Now is the new and only college esports show on TV. The show airs on Fridays at 7 p.m. Central on ESTV. And then next, we've got the exciting partnership between FitGamer and Cloud9 Training Grounds. FitGamer is an organization dedicated to the importance of staying fit while dedicating a long time period to gaming. The Cloud9 Training Ground experience offers collegiate gaming athletes an amazing opportunity to work with the world-class esports organization known as Cloud9. The winners of this fall league will win both a Cloud9 Training Ground experience and the FitGamer package. Both wonderful opportunities and great prizes, honestly. I think it's really exciting. Right, Luke? Yeah, no, I do too. Um, so, along with that, the winners of this fall league will also get tickets to participate in the Wolves Path to Pro League, allowing them to compete for a chance to try out and become a part of the Wolves esports team. Lastly, we'd like to shout out our ability to have exposure on TV thanks to our esports TV shows airing on Reach TV with NACL Knows All, iSun TV with NACL Replays, ESTV with College Esports Now, and Esports Max live Spanish broadcasts of the leagues. In the coming weeks, Donovan Carter, Funtcase, Mark Anthony, King Cryptics, and Hunter Schleibach will be casting this league. So joining me today is Luke Kane, otherwise known as Luke, and myself, I'm Dogbear, otherwise known as Eder. And today we have an exciting match for you guys. What do you think, Luke? What do you think of the games coming up? Mm-hmm. 100%, 100%. I do remember one of the players' name is Little Big Mac. That is a familiar name. It's going to be exciting to see him play tonight. I believe the map pool we have today is going to be Game 1, King of the Hill, Recharge. Game 2, Slayer, Catalyst. Game 3, Strongholds, Livefire. And if it comes to it, Game 4, Capture the Flag, Aquarius. And again, if it comes to it, Slayer, Recharge. So a very great mix of game types today. I like that we're starting off on King of the Hill Recharge because I think that's going to give both teams an opportunity to just sort of really start battling off of each other. I think King of the Hill Recharge is a lot of hills that are very sort of narrow and close and like offers so much opportunity for team fighting, nades. So much going to be going on, so much action. Yep, and I'm excited for that. 100%. It's just going to be both. I think it's just going to wake up both teams. Hopefully they warm up going into this because honestly, King of the Hill Recharge is definitely going to be a really good warm up for them. Yep, 100%. Next up is Slayer Catalyst, which a bit of a controversial map pick based off of players and what I've seen online through social media. I personally think Slayer Catalyst is fine. It's a symmetrical map. There's a lot of long angles, which sort of it doesn't offer you the opportunity to really be exposed a lot. But I think that forces you to play a certain way with your team, be a little bit sneaky, be a little bit more slow and patient, which 100%, which Slayer is already a bit of a passive game type, but you do what you can with that. Strongholds Livefire, a classic map pick, in my opinion. Just a lot of back and forth. Again, teams are going to have to focus so much on rotations on this map. Just have a lot going on there with being patient. Once again, just working as a team, breaking hills together. I think Livefire is a great Strongholds map. What do you think? That sniper, 100%. If we can get a player to show off some great clips of the sniper, it'd be really exciting. Absolutely. Next is 100%. Next is CTF Aquarius, which is on its own. I think probably the most symmetrical game type between the two, between any maps in Halo. Just a lot of back and forth between both teams. I think it just goes down to both of them. All right, so
Check, check. Hello? Check, check. Hello. Are we good? Can you guys hear me? All right. technical issues.
Oh, good. All right, sounds good. So we're going to be starting up this lobby very, very soon. Just got to get players ready and in their places, of course. And once we're in, we're going to be starting the games again with King of the Hill Recharge.
All right, Eder. Who do you think takes map 1?
Map one. I think it's going to be very close, but I think my money's probably going to be on Utah State. I think they might pull something out. I'm honestly not gonna lie. Don't think I know a lot about the roster, but I just have a feeling when a team comes in and you don't really know a lot about them, they could really surprise you. I mean, that's kind of the story for a lot of esports teams, especially in collegiate, in my opinion. A lot of teams will just kind of come out running and destroy top teams because, you know, I think a lot of collegiate esports comes down to people within college not really knowing that there might be collegiate opportunities for competitive gaming. And so once they discover these opportunities, they realize, oh, I think I have what it takes to do this, and then they just kind of come out of the woodworks and end up giving everybody a show.
Man,
what do you think?
That fire in the belly.
100%, I do agree. Once again, though, we are going to be starting off very, very soon for the opening night of the Halo League, the NACL Halo Fall 22 season. I just got to get the players ready. And yeah, what about you, Luke? Who do you think who's going to win game 1?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. You said you knew one of the players, right?
Yeah, Little Big Mac. That is a name that sounds familiar. It's a very funny name. I think I'm not going to ever forget a name like that. There's a lot of funny names in Halo.
I'm rooting for Little Big Mac. I like his name.
You're rooting for Little
like you said, I mean, in collegiate esports, anything can happen. And a lot of these guys, they have something to show. They want to prove something. So those lesser-known teams, they definitely want to come out and make an impact.
100%. And I think there's a lot that can be said about this being what is probably everybody's maybe second semester playing Halo, given that Halo Infinite launched about a year ago, almost a year ago now. So there would only been anybody competing in collegiate Halo leagues would only have had one semester to do so. So now there's been an entire almost year to practice this game. We're going to see a lot of strategy involved now. They're going to have, and they've had a whole summer break to just maybe go over scrims, and recruit players, have a bunch of practice done for these matches coming up, and it's going to be very, very exciting.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. People have had a lot of time to put into this game, make a lot of adjustments to their teams if they didn't play so well last year, and also bring in new players. So
100%. All right, looks like we're gonna be getting into the game now. Loading in right now. Once again, King of the Hill Recharge starting off here. I'm not sure which side we're starting off here at the moment, but we'll get a good look at it once we're in game. Looks like we're starting off on West Virginia University side with a Jasconi. Sorry, not sure how to pronounce that name, but hopefully it's just fine. Looks like they're gonna be going for a pretty Ajasansi, something like that. Looks like West Virginia. No, you're good. It's all good. Looks like West Virginia might have gotten that camo though, just almost free. Gonna see how they're gonna be using this push. Looks like right now Utah State has control of the hill. Looks like 3 down already for Utah.
Back and forth. Nobody's able to get any control right away. Well, Utah State's now in the hill.
100%. Ooh, I believe red is Utah State and West Virginia is blue. Okay, yep. Sounds good. So that's how we're gonna be referring to these teams. All right, Chimkin. Zalin right now gets taken down by a player from West Virginia. Looks like West Virginia is gonna hold really good space here for this hill.
Yeah, and they also have the shock rifle too at their disposal. Oh, he's gonna go down right away.
Taken down. Yeah, very quickly. Utah State making their best efforts right now to get into this hill and keep West Virginia off of it. But West Virginia is answering back with this. Secret Ninja playing from the blue pipes managed to clear the hill.
One last player just playing his life very well there, going back to control.
100%. Looks like we got an update on the overlay. It's very, very helpful there. And now Solitude.
Oh, yeah, that makes a huge difference.
Trying to fight this player from West Virginia. Gets him one shot, and his teammate doesn't end up finishing him off. So now it's Utah State in control of the hill. 2 down now for West Virginia. Let's see how West Virginia might be able to come back from this. Very back and forth right now for sure. Both teams have a lot of progress on this opening hill, and that cam is going to be up in 10 seconds. Viola Dubinator on the single box, very low. Looks like Solitude has that shock rifle. Maybe we can finish him off, and it doesn't look like he will be able to. Dubinator does end up taking him down. 100%. West Virginia, and they have 4 up right now with
Wire.
Utah State being 3 down. Yep. West Virginia does get control of that very first hill. They're going to start rotating very quickly. Utah State is ready for this, though, already sitting on the C plat. But they're still losing members, Utah State.
Oh, yeah. They're 2 down right now, and West Virginia's going to be able to get the first points on the hill. So let's see what they can do.
100%. West Virginia is still holding possession, and looks like they're doing a great job just sort of keeping players off of it, keeping players from being able to push. But 2 down now for West Virginia. That's both of their hill people, I believe. Oh, but their camo player was in there still, and unfortunately still gets taken down by Solitude with some help from his teammates. Looks like they're going to be weak, hiding from these grenades, waiting for the inevitable push from West Virginia. A Dubinator now running through the top L catwalk, pushing through control with his teammates. Looks like they're going to be hitting this C plat together. The Secret Ninja now trying to challenge someone from top stacks, but yeah, doesn't look like he can get much done there. Solitude doing a great job holding this hill, being the one man standing in here. His teammates all surrounded around him, doing a great setup in my opinion. They have one man sneaky. Looks like they have someone glass. Oh, great shots.
Yeah.
Out of Utah State, out of Solitude. Oh my god, he takes down the second one as well. Solitude doing a great job holding this hill. Looks like Utah do get that second hill back and forth now, 1-1.
Yeah, excellent job by Solitude, just playing his life there. And he knows his teammates have the angles covered, so he doesn't have to peek out. He doesn't have to overextend. He needs to get points on the hill.
100%. Chimkin now. He's working with his teammates to try and break this West Virginia University hill. West Virginia looked like they were ready for this rotation. They probably already scrapped that hill at one point and said, okay, look, let's just get ready for this rotation. Let's get ready for this next hill. And it might be working out for them because it looks like they still have possession. 3 down now for Utah State. Last man alive, Solitude trying to break it, but unfortunately, it is going to get taken down by a member of West Virginia University. That's going to be a lot of good time, too. They're already over halfway.
Yeah.
100%. They're already over halfway through in that bar fill. Utah State, I don't think they have enough time to push this. They're already weak. It looks like they're going to be opting to go for this camo instead. Use that for better rotation onto this next hill. Utah running in, but unfortunately, West Virginia do get that cap onto the third hill of the map. See, looks like neither of these teams are exactly ready for this next rotation either, so we're going to see who's going to get control of this. I think it's just going to come down to slays, obviously. Just sort of which team can get the better positioning, has a better hold over one another. Looks like Utah State might be having that. Solitude, or I'm not sure which player was able to take them down. 3 versus 3 now for both teams. Looks like Chimkin is able to pinch the person on the hill with a teammate. Almost takes down the person on camo, but unable to, unfortunately. 2 down now for Utah. 2 down for West Virginia as well, but I think they might have control over here. Now 3 down for Utah State. A Dubinator doing a great job holding this area for his team.
You know, so tightly,
100%.
you know, such a tight lane. You know, you have it's a hallway.
It is.
There's not much.
It's just a nightmare.
You can't go really anywhere. You know.
100%. It feels as though you are so vulnerable to so much utility and so much grenades, such as that right there. That repulsor is dangerous in this area. All it takes is one button for you to be pushed off the map and fall to fall damage, which is honestly very common in Halo Infinite. Doesn't ever change it from being really humiliating. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been on the receiving end of that. So
unfortunately, so have I. But Utah State do make a great push onto the hill, but unfortunately do still get 4 taken down. West Virginia holding this hill very, very tightly now. 23 seconds left on that active camo. Probably going to be opting to go for that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that camo,
if that active camo.
100%. Whoever gets control of this active camo, I think, is going to like be able to sort of, you know, have a lot more control over this game once they get that. But right now, 3 down for Utah State. Looks like someone did fall off the map there.
Determine the next hill, who gets there, who gets the most points out of it.
100%. West Virginia do cap that fourth, King hill in the map, and it's already up to 3-1 in the scoreline. Very quick game it might be. It might already be done with this first match very, very quickly.
Yeah, very surprising. West Virginia taking that early lead.
100%. Adjasansi though. Let's see what he can do to hold this hill right now. Utah State does have possession of this hill. Great use of the repulsor to try and get away from his enemies. Yep. Sees one top turbine, but it doesn't look like he can get the hill. Oh, he does get the first kill, but unfortunately cannot get his own second kill. The Dubinator trades out his teammate. Does take out another member of Utah State up in that glass area. Looks like Utah's going to be spawning around the C area. And 2 members of West Virginia now in the hill. Utah State is going to have to really put a lot of effort into breaking this hill.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think is the best strategy for them
establishing dominance on this hill.
100%.
Well, I like what West Virginia is doing. Their hold. You see that they had 2 guys top yellow just watching the cross into Turbine. Does look like Utah State did manage to break it though. They have 1 person in the hill. See what he can do.
Does look like that indeed.
He's
Yeah.
dodging grenades.
Right now, I think what Utah really needs to focus on is getting into positions to help each other out, getting into very strong formation. But unfortunately, 3 down are going to go down for Utah State. West Virginia break them with what barely feels like some ease.
Yeah. West Virginia just rushing in 3 guys there, and 2 players from Utah State were cut off. Isolated. They were easy pickings for West Virginia.
Utah State answering back very quickly though. West Virginia now 3 down. Utah does have control of this hill. I think right now, knowing there's 3 down, I think that's when they really need to start moving and getting into those positions to cover each other's backs. Utah
Definitely.
State holding this hill though. West Virginia trying to go for the break. It's 3 versus 3 now. A little bit of a scrappy fight here. There's about 5-6 players in Turbine right now, and Utah State kind of at the disadvantage. He's using a Josansi on a 1v2 right now. Let's see if he gets the first kill. He might be able to get the second one, but unfortunately isn't able to. That was Secret Ninja able to take him down, play for his life, get the possession of the hill for West Virginia University.
Yeah, West Virginia once again winning those gunfights that really matter and winning the game. Great job by them.
4-1 for this first map, King of the Hill Recharge. Very back and forth, honestly. The scoreline, I think, doesn't tell the story of that match. It was definitely back and forth between both teams, but I think what it came down to was slays and positions. But
yeah, I have to agree. It did seem close, watching the entire game. But like I said, West Virginia just coming out where it matters most, right? Able to make the most important kills, and you saw they were getting into setups early. They were rotating early, and
100%. Yeah, that's
smart,
really what's the important thing.
very smart Halo.
100%.
Yeah.
As a team, a lot of what you need to do as a team in Halo is have each other's back, be in great positions. It's not all about slays. As you might have a good gunny, that's perfectly fine. But once it gets to this high level competitive play, you need to start thinking about where you are, where your teammates are, and what you guys are going to do together.
Definitely.
But that was map 1. We're going to go for a little break between map 1 and map 2. We'll be right back.
This is college esports now.
This is a new frontier for esports.
Don't count them out. The players here are the best of the best.
But that's the thing, college esports is the future.
Like it or not, these are the big leagues. You need to be able to keep up if you want to make it.
This one's looking like it's headed to overtime. Instinct may have something to say. Here's Baynock. Good, clear to the side. Wall, it's going to stay alive. Instinct. Baynock. Oh my gosh. Holy Blue wins game 2.
Esports is bringing the world together.
How has Fit Gamer changed and impacted Cloud9? I mean, honestly, what's happened with the training we've been doing, we are now, when we get to this Game 5 situations, we're the team on stage that has energy. We're the team on stage actually is sharp, and we're the team that's raising the trophies.
Hi, my name is Mike Aguilar, or Moog, and I'm the Director of Esports and Co-Curricular Innovation at the University of Oklahoma. So about OU's programs, we have 3 main focuses that we work on. The first one being intercollegiate esports, the reason that we're in this league, developing teams to represent the university in formal competitive match play across other schools across the North American continent and even the globe. The other pillars focus on news and media and the entertainment industry, another reason why we are in this league, to develop students to be able to write these things beyond the air and the announcers, understanding the production back end, and being able to facilitate the ability to articulate and showcase our matches. And then finally, focusing on the community, the epicenter of everything that we built ourselves upon as a means to say that gaming is absolutely for everyone, while esports is definitely more exclusive, keeping the true inclusive nature of gaming still right at the core. I've learned that in the topic of esports, especially in scholastic and development, that there is so much still left to unturn and discover and explore. And a lot of us are not talking about that yet, mainly because we just don't have the bandwidth yet. But when we talk about curriculum, we talk about research, we obviously talk about performance-based development, community engagement, philanthropic initiatives, branding, sponsorships, all of those things are still very, very young in their developmental life cycle. So I would say in the next 10 years, definitely a 10-year roadmap before we get to a point where I'd say the majority of the things that we could do with this topic in our environment are fully explored and materialized to the point of being extensions of the university's strategic mission, as well as opportunities for revenue streams and self-sustainment. NACL provides an opportunity for us to elevate. While there are plenty of great tournament organizers and great tournaments in general and leagues to be a part of, being able to now tap into a higher form of media exposure, into mainstream visibility and exposure and penetration into even the living room is extremely critical to the future of this as we continue to get more stakeholders, more buy-in from those that are in both non-endemic and endemic brands. As we can produce our own stories and produce our own kind of drama of our gameplay, it allows us to have that sellable asset that sponsors want to get involved in, that brands and alumni and fans of our brands and our universities want to support. And above all, encourages students to now have another opportunity to explore the cost and mitigate the cost of getting an education, as well as their future plans of whatever they choose to do with their lives. The Fit Gamer and Cloud9 training collaboration with this is also iconic in that we have an opportunity coming from Oklahoma, who's unfortunately not known for being the healthiest of states, allows us to take this topic, which is already kind of labeled as this sedentary-based activity that doesn't promote, wellness in a lot of great ways, to turn that on its head and basically say, we do care about those things, and now it's time to start focusing on why they're significant and how we can impact that. The nice thing about our topic is that any office worker, anybody sitting at a desk for a long time and using high eye strain or applying themselves mentally in that capacity can benefit from the research and the wellness focuses that we have for our own development in high performance esports. The Cloud9 component of that also helps deal with one of the glaring weaknesses of this industry, not just in the collegiate sector, but also in K-12, where on the K-12 side, you have teachers who played a video game once and are now in charge of developing this entire new culture and industry inside of the walls of their high schools. And on the college side, you have these young adults who may or may not have the business acumen and the maturity of the bureaucracy and political landscape of a university to help navigate it while being really strong in the meta and the ability to teach others how to play that game. Cloud9 TG allows that to find a balance between those two and elevate both sides. And that's critical if we want to actually get to a point where we're mentoring younger and younger to have higher and higher prospects for competition and not feeding off of the pre-existing pro pipelines that come back to college, but also creating absolutely new legacy stories that will mirror and mimic a lot of the same legacy stories we see in traditional athletics or in those role models of those in the spotlight. But imagine being 9 years old, 8 years old, and now having a pathway that makes sense to you, especially in this field, which tends to have a higher percentage of STEAM and STEM track student-minded individuals. So I'm excited for the future. OU's all in, and let's get this done.
Hello everyone, we're back again now. Going to be starting map 2 very soon here. It's going to be Catalyst Slayer. How do you think this game's going to start off, Luke?
Well, if we look at the last match, both teams were pretty close in terms of slaves. So I think we can expect a close match here. I haven't really played
100%.
much Catalyst myself. Haven't really played much of the new season. But
Yeah.
like you said earlier, I mean it's an open map, it's a big map, and definitely a lot of lanes. You have a lot of vision right over the lanes. So I think teams definitely have to play a bit more passive. And play for those picks, right? Play for information, play for those picks, and you know these games they will come down to the wire too, right? Slayer is all about playing your life,
100%.
and you know.
100%. It's going to be interesting. It's going to take a lot of power up and power up control as well from both teams. You're going to have to get that skewer and that overshield. Going to be interesting to see if both of these teams had agreed to GAs, because if they did agree to GAs, they're not going to be using that energy sword. But if they didn't agree to GAs, then just going to be using that energy sword very freely. And we're going to see how that might change the dynamic of the combat, because that energy sword, as we both know, can be very, honestly, kind of a ratty weapon. You can hide in a corner, just totally annihilate maybe even 2 people, not even just one, depending on your positioning.
You get that,
depending on
especially
their
on
push.
this map, you get that grapple energy sword combo. That could be problematic. So
100%, and we'll see how both these teams end up stacking up against each other. We're going to be starting this map very soon, and yeah, once again, something else I think I like a lot about a Catalyst as well is the opportunity for movement. There's a lot of slopes and slides that people could curb slide on this map, G-sliding, however you might want to call it, and I think that offers a lot of players a lot of room to just sort of show off their tech skill, their movement skill in Halo, which I think is a very a big thing to practice for the sake of a skill gap. Movement is really big in this game, in my opinion.
definitely, and it's fun to watch too. I mean, I love watching it, and like you said, yeah, it does expand the skill gap a little bit.
100%.
You know, you're going to see some people styling on players that
Yep.
won't be expecting.
But what we're gonna see, it looks like we're gonna be loading into this map very, very soon. Gonna be curious to see how this starts off, how this opening break is gonna be. Gonna see which teams focus on that skewer, maybe focus on that overshield. I think most teams try to focus on that overshield. I think I would do the same personally.
Overshield definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
Not a big fan of the skewer, but
It's not the best sniper, admittedly, but it's what we have in this map.
Yeah.
It looks like we're gonna be starting and getting into this very quickly now. Looks like we're gonna be starting off on the side of West Virginia, a Dubinator. Let's see how West Virginia opens up this map. Looks like he's gonna be going straight to the left. Like I said, that skewer. One member of Utah State, 2 members, both on West Virginia. Oh my God, the Dominator.
ooh,
Unfortunately, he ends up trading that kill. Looks like he was gonna get that.
yeah, got a little sloppy there. but
Unfortunate.
The trade is, I guess that'll suffice, right?
Yeah, I believe so. But I think ideally, with the way that fight was going, I think he should have won that. But I mean, it happens sometimes. That's just Halo. Yeah. At the very least, 2-2 now for West Virginia and Utah State. Doesn't look like, I'm not sure any of them even got that skewer control. I'm not sure if any of them got that
Skewer's still up.
overshield either. It might have been Ernst.
Yeah, I think West Virginia did get OS.
Did they? Okay, I see. Doesn't look like a lot was done with it though, unfortunately. Now 3-2 in the favor of Utah State. Jasansi trying to push up into the enemy base, help his team out, but unfortunately both of his teammates, Shuken and Xylon, do get taken down by Sure Shot. I think Jasansi might be, you know, wanting to back out here. Very intelligent play out of him. Just doesn't want to, like, just, you know, get into too difficult of a situation without his teammates. And unfortunately, doesn't look like the support will be helpful either.
Yeah, Sure Shot getting off to a really good start here. 3-0. He's feeling himself.
100%. Xylon now, he has 3-2 in this game. Has the majority of the kills for his team right now. Let's see, Dubinator now. Collapsing on to the spawn of Utah State. It looks like both teams have a lot of space given to each other right now. It's a little interesting how there's a lot of open space in between the two of them. Looks like Solitude's gonna try and opt to get the skewer right now. Finally gets picked up. Let's see what he can do with it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm not too good with the skewer, but I'm not too good with the skewer, but it's always fun to see people go off with it.
It is different, right? It's a
very
projectile, which Halo isn't very foreign to projectiles, but it's very slow, honestly, compared to how a lot of projectiles you might see in Halo. Like, let's say in Halo 3, like the projectile, you won't have to lead too much in Halo 3, but in the infinite with
With Skewer,
Skewer.
yeah.
You have to be pretty good at leading that shot
Oh, yeah.
and guessing that. Looks like Secret Ninja is gonna get that overshield. Maybe West Virginia not gonna be pushing up into the Utah State spawn, but doesn't look like they're gonna be able to get much done
Ooh.
here. And Secret Ninja does get taken down now. 2 down for both sides, but West Virginia is in the lead, 13-7. Solitude is able to take down one player, but Sure Shot trades him right back. Sure Shot now fighting another member of Utah State. His teammate is going to be able to pick up that kill for him. Now Sure Shot backing away, to playing it very smart, playing
Definitely the right move, yeah. Just
backing
dip out of
where
there.
his teammates are, in order to keep himself alive. Skewer is going to be up in 5 seconds as well. A brand new one, very quickly after getting picked up.
I want to see some skewer skills, man.
One more time.
I want to see some skewer skills. Skewer kills. You know.
I agree.
Do some plays with that thing.
Looks like West Virginia was trying to push onto Utah State right there, but unfortunately doesn't really seem to come out on top as Utah State is able to clap back at them. At Jasanti now notices one is weak on this side of the map, but doesn't look like he's gonna opt to push through. Instead, maybe wait for his teammates for a full team push.
Yeah, I think he knows that.
On these picks.
I think he knows that West Virginia is waiting for him if he continues to push. So the best move is just to wait for reinforcements, right?
100%. I think something Utah State needs to do here. Oh, already 3 down now for Utah State.
Yeah.
West Virginia doing a great job at shutting them down. I was just about to say, I think Utah State really need to group up and make a team push together, because right now they're lacking a lot of momentum. It's 21-10 now. And I think what this team needs is just to get pick after pick after pick and build up that momentum and catch this West Virginia team off spawns and just trap them, get them in the spawn trap. But that's the best way to play Slayer, in my opinion, is have those rotations really on lock and not allow a team to just answer back to you without each other. If both teams get split up, it's very difficult. Or if both halves of the team get split up, I mean, it's very difficult to get momentum. Looks like West Virginia might have burnt that camo right there. Looks like somebody grabbed it and just kind of jumped off the map. The Dominator now does have that skewer though. It seems they get a pick there in the kill feed and tries to get one more on the Chimkin, but unfortunately misses that. Chimkin, very smart in trying to run away from that. Probably doesn't want to try and risk that again. You know, it's very fortunate that a Dominator happened to miss that shot, but he still has 2 left in there. Let's see if he can get another 2-3 picks here for his team. Unfortunately, doesn't get the shot there, but still in a very good lead for West Virginia now, 26-13.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too. I mean, you even see Utah is slowing down right now, right? They're definitely playing more passively because I mean they're down by a lot, but it doesn't seem like that's really doing much in their favor. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, they're not getting much power weapon control, and it does seem that they are losing most of their gunfights. So
yeah, unfortunately, it does seem that way. But let's see if they can still answer back. Looks like they're closing this gap just ever so slightly now. 11 kills behind West Virginia. Utah State. If they can just build some momentum and get kill after kill. Solitude looks like he's looking somewhere else on the map. I think that player might have fallen off. I wasn't sure if that was some desync there.
It may have been, yeah. Unless is there a way to get outside of the map there? Or grapple?
I think so. That's something. I know you say you haven't played a lot of Catalyst. That's something that's actually very interesting about this map. Is there's a lot of room to actually play outside of the map with that grapple hook that spawns on the map. What you see a lot of players do is just literally just swing like Spider-Man on the outside of the map to get to different areas. It's very interesting play and dynamics in the game, and offers a lot of what I would say is honestly is some significant risk and some great reward out of that, because if you miss that grapple, if you mess it up just a little bit, you end up falling off the map and looking pretty silly. But either way, it still looks very cool.
Oh, definitely.
West Virginia now, 10 kills against Utah State. Looks like this gap isn't getting any bigger, but that doesn't really help the side of Utah State. They're going to want to try and do what they can to get as many kills as they can. They just honestly now spots 2 players, spots multiple players, is able to take down one of his teammates. Secret Ninja trying to answer back and get a trade for his teammate, but it looks like he might get caught out here with multiple members of Utah State. Does back off, is waiting for his teammate, trying to protect him, just trying to keep this very back and forth. Utah State, I honestly think, and this might be very ignorant of me to say, but I feel like they should have just ran for it. It looks like they got too weak there. They had numbers, you know? I feel like they should have just pushed for it. It's a little risky, a little bit barbaric even, but if both teams just kind of ran in there or if Utah State just ran in there with all their numbers, I think they could have won those fights and got that momentum I keep talking about.
Yeah, man. You know, sometimes people just get cold feet, right? They get nervous a little bit. They don't see the opportunities. Yeah, it's definitely you need to keep up the aggression, right? That's the only way you're gonna be able to close this gap and then, like you said, gain some momentum.
100%. And honestly, what it feels like here, Utah State, like I said, like you said, had that cold feet, and then West Virginia just kind of pushed in. Like, but Utah gave them too much room to wait for their spawners, wait for their team to group up again, and get another push. West Virginia just basically took down their whole team there on that entire side of the map, and now Utah State spawning on the opposite side of the map once again, just kind of turtling up.
Yeah, no, they're like you said, West Virginia. They're definitely feeling good right now. They're in a great position. They have a comfortable lead. So, I mean, why would they stop? They're just gonna keep going, right?
100%. Aegis honestly does take down Secret Ninja though. That should be an opening for this team to push up. 3 versus 3 now as spawners are coming up. It looks like Aegis is gonna try and go for this overshield, but I don't think he has a lot of backup from his team here. Him and his teammate do seem to be in a very difficult spot. I don't think they're gonna be able to get this very, very easily. But looks like Chicken did get that overshield.
I think he grappled it.
Yeah, it looks like he had that grapple and does take down Secret Ninja. Now this could be the momentum that they could be using to shift the tide over in their favor. Looks like they also have control of that skewer as well. It's a great shot out of Solitude there on an I'm Panic.
Yeah, it's big, man.
Like pushing through.
That's just what power weapons can do. And power ups. Oh my god. He stuck the.
It looks like there's a little bit of lag there. Okay, he fortunately did stick somebody from West Virginia, but from the RPOV it did look like he unfortunately
That was close. That was too
Utah
close.
State. Yeah. But yeah, Utah State doing a great push now, 31-35. They're closing this gap, and West Virginia now 2 down. A Dominator trying his best to save the numbers for his team, but it doesn't look like he's gonna get much done there. Now this gap is 38-33. 5 kills now. Not a terrible gap for Utah State to come back from, but I think what they're gonna really want to do here is really push through and put as much pressure on West Virginia as much as possible.
Yep. And we see them grouping up here, getting ready for another push, maybe.
It does look like it. Chimkin, it looks like they're gonna be nervous that West Virginia's going
looking the wrong way
here, but nobody from West Virginia is gonna be on that side of the map. Unfortunately, obviously we can see that they cannot. Xylon now with the skewer has 4 shots in it. Let's see if he can get some free picks for his team. Chimkin does take down a Dominator. It's gonna open up something for Utah State to push through. Sure shot. Might be able to get a good flank though now. Utah State doesn't know he's behind them, but unfortunately for West Virginia, no, West Virginia does come out on top in that fight. Now 2 down for Utah State, but Utah does answer right back. 40-37 now, only a 3-kill gap between both teams. 5 kills now, 42-47, as West Virginia take down the rest of that Utah State roster.
Yeah, just coming in there, cleaning up those kills real quickly.
Yeah, like you said, in the Slates department, it is pretty back and forth for both of these teams. However, West Virginia is just slightly, ever so slightly on top, and be it ever so slightly as it is, that is what matters for this win here. That's what's going to get them the lead, and ultimately what might get them the win here. Secret Ninja now does that over the shield. That's going to give them a lot of space, a lot of pressure to be able to push on the Utah State. Does spot out a Jasansi weak. Very unfortunate position for Jasansi there.
Oh, definitely. It was just a little too late to get to OS, and I mean this could be the deal breaker, right? For any comeback with OS right here.
Yep, 2
and of course,
kills now.
and look at Solitude just spawning out all alone by himself. That's really unfortunate too.
Yeah. See, that's what I was talking about though with Slayer. If you can get those teams to split spawn, you really can just capitalize on their lack of numbers. Even though if there might be 4 up, if they're not close to each other, there's not a lot they can do against this full squad for pushing them. But
yeah, that's just
Xylon is able to use that Doom combo against Secret Ninja. And honestly, they're kind of getting some picks. It looks like the gap is only 6 kills now. They do take down the full squad of West Virginia in this spot. Can they bring this back without losing a single member?
Man, I'd love to see that. They just got a full team wipe, so
yeah, it'd be a crazy comeback. But Chimkin looks like he might be over-aggressing right now, and I'm panicking a great spot to be behind him, but he can't finish a kill. Still 4 up for Utah State. I'm Panic was in a great position there to take out even just one of those players, but unfortunately doesn't get the kill.
Yeah, I know he's frustrated about that, man. He was in a perfect position, right? Just shoot the enemy in their backs, get a pick, finish the game, but
right, all they need is 1 kill, West Virginia.
It looks like we're gonna run out of time before anybody gets that last
You're
kill.
right, it does go to time, unfortunately. West Virginia does end up winning that match. Unfortunate for Utah State. That could have been a very, very exciting comeback for them. I'm sure it got very tense in the comms for both teams there. But
Sweaty palms.
ultimately, West Virginia do come out on top. 2-0 now for the side of West Virginia. Now we're going to be going on to the Strongholds Live Fire, where they can maybe look to end this series out, or let's see if Utah State can answer back and get this map 3 win, push us into a game 4.
Yeah, that's what we all want to see, right? More Halo, but West Virginia is looking very strong right now. And
100%, I do agree.
They do have that slight edge, right, in terms of the slaying department and gun skill, I think.
Yeah, I do agree. But we're going to take a little break once again, get us into map 3. Don't just wait on that. Don't go away.
Hi everybody, my name is Samir Bolar. I'm the Executive Director of Cloud9 Training Grounds. We're excited to offer boot camps and leagues and training experiences throughout the year. If you're interested in signing up for our league, don't miss out. It starts October 10th. Signups are now, so you can get in on the ground level of either our Performance League for the most elite players in League of Legends and Valorant, or you can join our Development League if you're just starting out and want to compete and test your skills. Each league offers live coaching alongside the teams that you're a part of all season. It's a great experience to develop your skills and see if you can compete at the highest level. Aside from that, we've got some boot camps coming up this month, so go check out the boot camps if you don't feel like you're ready for the league. And the gym is always live, so check out Training Grounds Gym at our website, traininggrounds.gg, and you can join the league boot camp or our gym for as low as $15 a month to get live classes every week, every day, and learn alongside some other great players.
And we're back now. Just waiting on this map 3, Strongholds live fire between West Virginia University and Ohio State for the opening night of the NACL Halo Fall Season 2022. Very exciting first 2 maps, honestly, both going in the side of West Virginia University. Let's see if Utah State can come back on the Strongholds live fire. What do you think? What do you think Utah State might need to do here, Luke?
Well, listen, they lost the first 2 maps, and that's okay. I think, like we saw on the Slayer, it was close. I think what it came down to, like 50 to 40, well, 49 to 46, right? We didn't even reach 50 kills. So maybe Utah State, they're feeling warmed up now, a bit more confident. Let's see what they can do on live fire. Like you said, this is old school Halo Infinite, right? This map has been in the game since the very beginning. I think most players should feel comfortable on this map and game mode combo, right? So we'll see.
100%.
Yeah.
I like the power weapon dynamic on live fire as well, personally, with that heat wave, that sniper rifle, and that overshield spawn. You can see it's be very exciting to see if any players might be able to pull something out with that sniper. If Utah State can get that in their hands of a player with a really good shot, they might have something going for them there and maintaining those strongholds, whichever ones they might choose to hold.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we didn't. We had the shock rifle and recharge and the skewer and catalyst. So now we have a real sniper finally. So I want to see some guys make some plays.
Yep, I do too. And it looks like we're going to be loading into this game very, very soon. Going to be very interesting to see how both of these teams open up. I think it's going to be a classic startup, honestly. I think both teams are going to be fighting for that sniper up top mid, as it usually is, since that overshield doesn't spawn up till a little bit later after that sniper.
Yep.
But we'll see. Maybe teams might opt to instead go for a stronghold off the rip.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But I would prioritize those power ups, those power weapons.
I agree, honestly. I think that gives you a lot of room to not only push onto a stronghold that someone else might have capped, but also to hold them as well. So let's see who we might be starting off here with. Looks like we're going to be starting off on the side of, once again, West Virginia University with the Dubinator. He's going to be running down bottom mid off the rib. Looks like he might be going for that heat wave. Yep. And he does get it uncontested. Looks like Utah State instead choosing to prioritize that sniper, which might be come back to bite them, as the Dubinator is in a great position to maybe sneak up on them here on this C platform. He sees one top tower. Secret Ninja now trying to get B, and the Dubinator does take on Chimken and back tower. Like I said, did end up in their favor. 3 down now for Utah State, but they do have control of B and C. So they're scoring right now, but that side of that C is going to quickly go for on the side of West Virginia.
Yeah, and you notice they did have the right idea there. They kept the player anchoring in C, right? Because they knew that somebody from West Virginia is going to try to rotate and flip the map, right? Cap C. But unfortunately, they didn't. It was a BR against a heat wave up close, and the player was already weak. So again, that just shows you how important power weapons are. They make the difference early on.
100%. But on that note, though, Utah State did spawn up A, and we're able to flip that side onto them. But unfortunately, West Virginia, it looks like they were able to take down B and hold it for themselves now. Now they have control of both A and B, with Utah State holding C. A strong start, honestly, for Utah State on the scoring department, but it looks like West Virginia has more control now for the latter half, or for the greater portion of this game now.
Definitely, and the Dubinator is going on a tear with that heat wave right now.
4-0.
And he's finally taken down.
Yeah, that's taken down by Xylon, hiding now from the player that's in Nest. Looks like a short shot with a sniper rifle. Let's see if he can do anything here for his team. Take anybody down, maybe get some good headshots, but it looks like he's one shot, hiding behind back green. Maybe opting to play for his life instead before maybe peeking out. Looks like he's going to be pushing onto that B, trying to save it. It is contested, though. It looks like he can't really find the player. His teammate is going to be able to... No, he tries to fight him, but 3 down now for West Virginia. Utah State comes out on top. And sure shot now.
Position right now.
Yeah, in a very difficult spot. Unable to get much done here.
Yeah.
Looks like Solitude was able to take him down and take that sniper from him. He's honestly what I think is a pretty good spot to hold with the sniper back green here. Keep that eye on that sandbags area. And West Virginia, it looks like they're going to know that Utah State knows that they're going to be spawning in there, and they're going to be trying to be careful when pushing out. Aegis does have that overshield as well. Utah State with great power weapon control and map control.
Definitely, they have a nice, very strong BC hold right now. We know that, this is the dominant position to be in, right? So
100%, yeah.
Looks like West Virginia, they are making moves right now. They're getting onto that C point.
Right, 3v3 now though. I think West Virginia wants to try and opt to get as little deaths as possible, because the more numbers you have for the stronghold, the better. Because it's not only just getting those frags, it's staying alive long enough to capture that point. Like we just saw there.
Yeah.
I remember West Virginia just got taken down. He was on the point, he was capturing it, but without any help, without any teammates, Utah State spawns up and is able to take him out right before. 100%, even getting their own trade. And I'm panicked, desperately trying to go for that heat wave, but it does get taken down by Chimken. Utah State maintaining this strong hold, not to make a pun, but on B and C. But it looks like West Virginia is able to get A and B now.
Let's see what they can do. Where's Utah? What are they scheming right now? They do have snipes. Let's see Xylem makes it. Oh, he's able to hit him.
He takes a shot on the Dominator. 2v2 now between West Virginia and Utah State. See if Xylem can get anything more done. He does know that player is one shot, at least close to it. Does he get the Eagle shell? He doesn't, but he does opt to cap instead, which honestly, probably the smarter decision there, just to stay alive, stay hidden there. Yeah.
And if anybody shouts him, he has a sniper, and he's ready. Ready to do damage.
100%. The West Virginia collapsing now on that B. Yeah, Xylem not in a great position now, and he loses that sniper and that battle and that stronghold now. Going over to the side of West Virginia. But Utah State, even though losing that positioning, lose that power weapon, is still in a very favorable league, 40 points ahead of West Virginia. And it's just honestly great shots onto that West Virginia player now. Spot Seeker Ninja fighting for the overshield. Yeah, it looks like that too. 3 down now for West Virginia. It looks like they're going to be running back to that B stronghold, as West Virginia has just turned that C stronghold to their side.
Yep. So as you see again, the map is flipping. It looks like West Virginia should be able to cap C here. And
yep.
Well, West Virginia rotating and setting up, and well, they know where Utah is, or excuse me, they know where West Virginia is.
Yeah.
Spawning up on C.
There's 3 down there for West Virginia. It looks like West Virginia kind of having difficulty in getting a very strong footing. I think honestly both teams are kind of going back and forth, flipping the sides of the hills and who has control over points right now. But triple cap now for West Virginia is gonna be great to close this gap between the two. But Utah already on that C stronghold. That triple cap isn't going to last very long, but still, West Virginia is scoring and is going to be closing that gap.
Yep, that definitely helps them out a lot.
Looks like Short Shot is doing a great job taking down members of Utah State. 2 down now for Utah State. Great shots out of Sure Shot. Might be able to get this triple kill onto the player top nest, but is himself one shot. So probably going to opt to just stay alive here. Maybe his teammate here in Pillars, I'm Panic, going to be able to take him down for him. Does take down one bottom mid, but unfortunately gets taken down by Solitude. Traded right after. 2 down now for Utah State. 3 up for West Virginia.
We have a bit of a lull right now. Looks like West Virginia making the most of this hold they have. Sure Shot with a big win right there. Hitting the perfect.
That's great. Yeah, and West Virginia now has taken the lead now. It's 110 to 99 against Utah State. Utah State really needs to focus on trying to get a break onto what honestly probably the B stronghold is probably their best bet, right? Just try and focus on this hill, but unfortunately doesn't look like they're going to be able to. I think, yep, Chimken does go down there.
You saw right there, West Virginia, or excuse me, Utah seems very shattered at the moment. I mean, you saw one player on sandbags, you saw one player in B, and then I think 2 guys were backseat for Utah, but you know, obviously it makes it very difficult. One Utah player did win the 1v1 on B, but he's immediately traded out, right? Because he has no help.
100%, and I think that's kind of just been the story of this series, right? It looks like West Virginia is doing a very good job at holding each other's hands, helping each other out, being there for each other as a team. And Utah State is, I don't know if this is down to their own gameplay or West Virginia putting a lot of great pressure on them. Where Utah State just seems, like you said, very shattered, very split up, unable to get each other's back and help each other out. And now trip cap for West Virginia, and these points are going to be racking up very quickly.
This is lethal. So, and I think, well, I know for a fact West Virginia competed last season, or last year in the UGC. So, and I do recognize the Dubinator and a few other names on that squad. So, you know, they do have the chemistry, and with chemistry comes good communication, right? So that may
100%.
be making the difference right now, because these guys, I think they all have decent shots, right? They all, in terms of gun skill, pretty evenly matched. West Virginia, and I think we've seen it all series long, just playing very good as a group, as a unit.
Yeah, great Halo, honestly, and West Virginia again with a trip cap, but that B site almost wasn't able to be taken into Utah State. But A and C both going to Utah State. Looks like they're gonna be able to get some points here now. hopefully hold the stronghold. Not the most favorable stronghold to hold on live fire, even how far away A and C are from each other. But anything helps at this point. And unfortunately, Jizansi not able to get that kill with the heat wave. But his teammate does get his trade. Yeah, and he does have a shot sniper now with 4 bullets left in it. He spots I'm Panic, and I think I'm Panic did spot that glint from the sniper and is going to opt to not peek that. Very smart play out of him. A and B now on the side of West Virginia. And fortunately, Utah State, again, doesn't look like they can get a lot going here. Not able, like, they have these strongholds. They'll get possession of points for a bit, but West Virginia answers right back very quickly. Jizansi does kick down that player from West Virginia. Finds 2, finds a second. That gives him that heat wave as well.
Hey,
yeah,
there
triple
you go.
kill.
He's
Great shots.
after losing that one-on-one with the heat wave.
100%. He's gonna not opt to pick up that heat wave. I think, honestly, and just either didn't notice it, maybe not, or honestly, like we've all been in this position where it could just be the nerves right now. Like the game is going, it just doesn't really seem to be in your favor. You're not really focusing. You're getting a little desperate. You're not noticing little things like that because the game doesn't feel like it's in your control. You know.
Definitely not. And also, I wonder.
Cylon.
That was dirty.
Great use of the repulsor there.
Unnecessary, man. But yeah, I think like you said, we've all been there, man. Those nerves definitely kick in, and again, might not be feeling too good with the heat wave in his hands, but
yeah, 100%. Like we were talking about before, it's not just about a gun skill, not just about like being able to run your own V1s. It's about like thinking, focusing on composure. And composure is so big at this level of competitive play.
Yeah, and Utah 4 go down there. Should be an easy trip cap for West Virginia. Well, they do have guys spawning on A, so Utah has guys spawning on A.
Right, so it's 2 points for West Virginia now. It's still scoring, and that lead is getting more and more dangerous now as West Virginia has 235 points. They only need 15 seconds left of uncontested time to win this map. If anybody's unfamiliar with Game 1, the way the game works, it's not just like a standard domination where if you hold the points, you get picks, or you get points rather. Right? Instead, if the enemy team is not standing on the hill, that's when you get the points, and you can only get points if you're holding 2 strongholds. So let's say right now Utah State has A and B. If West Virginia is standing on A, Utah State's not going to be earning those points so long as that West Virginia player is still standing in there. They need to have both 2 hills as well as having no enemies standing in that hill. And it looks like West Virginia might have gotten that overshield. I'm Panic is able to take down that member who's fighting for it, and Shimkin is now in a very tough spot, getting collapsed on by West Virginia. And I think West Virginia wins this point here with this power whip control, this map control. And Jizansi desperately trying to hold the C point.
Oh, well, OS is burned.
Yeah, oh wow, I panicked. There's some great shots out of him there still. A Dubinator is able to get that pick.
Noble effort.
100%, but that C point is going to be going on the side of West Virginia now. 239 to 148. Utah State not only needs a very good hold, but they need a good break. They need to get position of these strongholds before anything.
Yeah, and oh man, it just goes back to what we were saying earlier. You saw it was a 2v1 on B right there. They support for that lone Utah player.
Yeah, but Jizansi is able to hold B for his team.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. Let's see if they can get a good setup here now, but it looks like West Virginia is going to be collapsing on these 2 Utah State players, just kind of turtling up here. Jizansi, maybe he can get the trade for his teammate. It does, fortunately, looks like he's going to be able to. Jizansi leading his team in kills 20-17, doing a great job for his team.
Yeah, I think he's played pretty consistently throughout the series.
Oh, just another player, but unfortunately it gets traded right out. I remember West Virginia. No, Dubinator desperately trying to hold that B point, get that cap, and looks like West Virginia is going to have both A and B now. 3 points now, 3 seconds left to win, and that's it. West Virginia take down Utah State 250 to 164 in the map, 3-0 in the entire series.
Yeah, and I think 3-0. That's the map count, right? The final result. But we know that these matches were pretty close overall. I think both teams evenly matched. So, Utah, they shouldn't feel too down on themselves after that.
I agree, 100%. I agree. I think Utah State there's a very long season ahead. Utah State did put up a very good fight. They did a very good job at keeping things close for the most part within the actual maps. I think what it just came down to is West Virginia capitalizing on opportunities better as a team, and Utah State just not being able to just get their footing in where they want to be, their setups, their positioning, their formation.
Yeah.
If they could work on that, they're definitely a very strong team to contend against for the rest of the season. If they just work on those points.
Definitely, man.
Right. All right, we're gonna be right back now. This isn't gonna be the end of the night, end of the stream. We're gonna be going to an interview to one of the partners of the NACL league. So don't go away. All right, and we are back now. Just gonna do a quick recap of the series between West Virginia and Utah State. Once again, honestly, a pretty close series between both teams, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like they were. Utah State wasn't able to really capitalize on any opportunities afforded to them to just fight back and hold position of different strongholds, just the map in general.
Yeah, man. And you know, I mean, we already talked about this. I definitely know that West Virginia, they've competed before. These guys know how each other play, and they, like we said, you know, even earlier in the stream when we began, you've had what, a year to practice together and get it together.
100%. That's a lot of time, but we are going to be going to an interview with one of the partners for the NACL, part of Fit Gamer, which is one of the prizes that these players could be winning if they win this fall 22 season of the NACL Halo League. So joining us here today is Kristen from Fit Gamer. How you doing, Kristen?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. So we just have a couple questions here just to ask about what Fit Gamer is, sort of inform our viewers on what they could expect from Fit Gamer and the Cloud9 training grounds. So Luke, do you want to start off?
Yeah, Kristen, I really like the way this sounds. So maybe you can tell us more about Fit Gamer, what it is.
Yeah. We are a performance and player development that essentially has created an app based on the work that we've been doing with Cloud9 over the last 4 years in performance. So everything from physical maintenance, mental conditioning, nutrition, sleep, lifestyle, all aspects of performance that can help players in their game, and also in just the sustainability and longevity of esports athletes.
100%. I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot within esports. Is it's not just about spending as much time as you can playing and playing and playing and playing. I think a lot of what people are learning, a lot of players are learning, fortunately now these days, is that it's a lot of outside stuff too. Making sure you're eating right, making sure you're getting a lot of sleep, making sure you're as healthy out of game as you are in game as well. So I think it's a very good opportunity for any of these players to be getting into. That leads me to my next question though. So Fit Gamer, what's their purpose with partnering with Cloud9 Training Grounds and the NACL?
Yeah, so first, in terms of the training grounds, we've been working with the Cloud9 League of Legends and Spitfire team for a number of years now. And as part of our partnership with them, we started working with their player development arm, which is the training grounds, which focuses on coaching, boot camps, leagues. And as we began working together, it kind of just grew together in terms of Cloud9 choosing to transition the training grounds to us as their performance and player development partner, so that Cloud9 can focus on their teams and we can focus on player development. So we are doing that in partnership with them, and really being able to just bring a whole package to esports teams. So we have an app that essentially helps give gamers the tools all in one place in terms of the areas that we just talked about. But now we also can provide coaching and a place for people to play. So it's kind of a all in one package.
Nice, yeah, and a great opportunity again for collegiate athletes, especially who probably don't have too much room to do these things on top of their school and their esports practices and everything in their matches, their leagues.
Yep. Well, we've been working with one university for the past year, and some of their players, one of the anecdotes that we heard from them was, since doing Fit Gamer, I used to always be late to class, and now I'm actually on time. So I don't know how that just kind of got into the mix, but we know that, we do try and package things in the app in a way that it doesn't take a lot of time to pay attention to these things. It makes a big difference if you can do it. But if you can find 20 minutes in your day just to try something that can help in other aspects of life as well, it's there for you. And just
Yeah,
to
it
answer
sounds
your
great.
question on NACL, we've spent the last year or so focusing on working with many high school esport programs, and we're now launching into collegiate programs where we know that there is a need, and esport programs are looking to develop in a way where they are protecting their athletes and making sure that they are not burning out, that they have balance, and that their coaches are dialed in to performance. And especially knowing that, certainly from a path to pro perspective, the pro teams clearly all now have their, performance coaches. Different organizations have taken, different stretches of how far they're going into this aspect of the game, but this is becoming part of the program now.
Yeah, sounds such like a tremendous opportunity.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and I don't think I think the physical aspect as well as the mental aspect for these competitors isn't really talked about too often. I think now more people are starting to focus on this, and obviously Fit Gamer is, um, because these guys are competitors, and there's a lot of wear and tear on the body, right? The hands, the wrists, and also
Hmm.
the mind. I mean, you're spending a lot of time playing these games, trying to be the best. So really, what got you into working with esports?
Well, I kind of got into esports accidentally. I was a young gamer, but I'm a little bit older, and my gaming was in Atari and River Raid and games like that a long time ago. But
Classics, yeah.
uh, my husband had started working with Cloud9 in 2018. In terms of, he was basically their performance person, and in different relationships, people come home from work and they share stories, and the stories that he was sharing with me from working with the players over the years, players coming and going, players coming from all parts of the world, and just the success that was happening in the garage at the League of Legends house for Cloud9. My background is in finance and consulting, and tangentially health and wellness, which is another story, another day, another story. But it was kind of the amalgamation of that and our sitting down with Jack Etienne in the backyard of the League of Legends house one afternoon during COVID, and saying, we think that what's happening here, the entire industry could benefit from, and him saying, absolutely, let's try and find a way to do this. And that was really where we got started in 2020.
That's awesome, honestly. It's a great story. So, with this Fit Gamer package as the winning team of the league, what could they expect to get out of this?
So we have, as I said, the app is really an outgrowth of what we've been doing with Cloud9. So it is all of the parts of the program that we've done with them where we've seen success. It's a system where, every day of the week, you're basically told what you can do that day to dial in your performance. And we have a team dashboard that accompanies the app so that coaches and managers can track their players' performance, can focus on game readiness, can see their emotional state, their physical state, how they are faring on the day of a big match. And so what we will be providing is a year subscription to the Fit Gamer app and the team dashboard for the winning team. This is up to a $2,000 value, and also coaching through the Cloud9 training grounds for both the coaches and the players. So just a lot of support for a team to grow in different ways that maybe they haven't done yet.
Sounds awesome. Sounds amazing, honestly. Very useful tool, useful app for not only just high level competitive professional esports athletes, but probably a great opportunity for collegiate athletes as well, as esports is accelerating into this amazing thing that we see from before our eyes these days. And now academic esports as well is starting to grow, not only collegiate leagues, but now, like you said, high school leagues are starting to happen. And I think something like this is a great opportunity, a great thing for coaches to really sit down and look at how their players are feeling, what they could do to improve their not only, again, in game and out of game health.
Yep. And just in watching the end of the third map there and hearing you talk about players' nerves and their composure and focus, these are all things that the Fit Gamer app are designed to hone in on. We have one of the Overwatch players at Cloud9 said that after doing this system for 3 to 4 months, I mean, this was something that we hadn't really expected someone to say, but he said, I find myself not second guessing myself as much. I'm making better decisions. I'm making clearer decisions. I have more confidence in, my play. I'm not as anxious before going on stage. So I think there's a lot of just byproducts to dialing in your mental and physical health that can really impact your level of play.
100%. That sounds awesome.
All right, Kristen. So, well, we already talked about this earlier. Yeah, sorry about that. We already talked about this earlier. You played Atari early on. So do you still game today, or are you?
I am a spectator today. So I actually have my husband and I have 8-year-old. We are a big League of Legends family who watches together, cheers for our teams, and we are a team of 18 people now at Fit Gamer between ourselves and the Cloud9 Training Grounds team, and so I myself don't game, but I live vicariously through my fellow teammates.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. And speaking of League of Legends, Worlds happening right now. Here's a bit of a preferential question. Do you think you're partial to any professional teams? Who do you have your eyes on during Worlds this season, if you've been keeping up with it?
I have been keeping up with it, and it's my husband is actually in New York City. Was at Madison Square Garden tonight, but I mean, I am somewhat partial to Cloud9. It's hard not to be. We've
Of
worked with them
course,
for
yeah.
a number of
Yeah.
years, and think just really highly of the entire organization there and Jack's leadership. But I think so many professional teams now. I mean, even Team Liquid announced a few months ago a performance lab. EG just brought another performance person on. They've got, so I guess if I were partial to any other teams, it would be just teams who are looking to get more into, protecting their players and preventing burnout and ensuring that, that their players are playing well and playing healthy.
100%. It sounds like an amazing thing that you guys are doing. and it's going to be great. This partnership between NACL and Fit Gamer and Cloud9 Training Grounds sounds like a great thing, great opportunity for these collegiate athletes to be winning at the end of this league. But yeah, once again, thank you for joining us, Kristen, for this. Thank you for this interview. I think I think this is it for us.
Okay,
you,
thanks
Kristen.
very
Yeah,
much.
thank you again. Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, we're gonna be going to a little.
Hey, what's up? My name is Dale Bird, and my gamer tag is dbird3475. I am representing the University of Oklahoma in Halo Infinite. My gamer tag is just my first name initial plus my last name and some numbers that I used to use in sports. I am currently a junior in finance. I started playing Halo Infinite when it first came out last year, but I've also just been playing Halo games for about 14 years now. My team and I are very excited for the Cloud9 Training Grounds experience. If we were to win this league, we all think that it's crazy that we could have the opportunity to learn from pros who do great in HCS. My team and I are preparing for this league by scrimmaging other schools and also by doing VOD, where we get to see where we did good and bad on certain situations and see where we can improve on. Also, the best advice that I can give to a player who wants to start in the competitive scene is to see if their school, whether it's a high school or a university, has a team for a certain game, and if it doesn't, they should start by creating one. And also, if you're looking to just get better at a certain game, I find that watching YouTube and getting tips and advice from pros is a good source. So thank you all, I appreciate it.
Hello, once again, everybody. We're back here just for a quick little recap of the series we just watched between West Virginia and Utah State. And that the series ended up in a 3-0 for the favor of West Virginia, unfortunately for Utah State. But don't let that series score intimidate you or anything. That was a very close series, and honestly, every game was close in one way or another, be it by kills or by, honestly, mostly by slays. But West Virginia ultimately ended up on top due to their positioning and their strategy, in my opinion. What do you think, Luke?
Definitely, it seemed throughout the series West Virginia was the stronger team, played very well off each other, and you could see, they knew their setups too. I mean, recharge, you see it. You had like two guys top yellow watching the push into turbine. You had two guys set up turbine and A, and it was making it very difficult for Utah to get in there, right? Because they're getting shot they're getting shot from everywhere. So, yeah, I definitely think West Virginia, really strong team play. They're looking very good. And I think that comes down to just, they have more experience. And
100%.
But
And
Utah, they looked good too. Got to give
yeah, no, they really did.
So
yeah, I think they just need to work on some, honestly, very work-onable things. Their positioning, their formations, things that matter, just as much as the slaying does within Halo. But that is going to be it for us tonight. Join us next week again. We're going to same time, 7 p.m. Central on Mondays for the Halo League, and it's going to be a very exciting season. This is the opening night, and very exciting series to start off. And we're going to see how things go, how things turn out for each team. Yeah, 100%. But again, thank you all for joining us, and I hope you all have a good night.